Hello and welcome to Flowing Mobility Tai Chi. Today I want to teach you Tai Chi Walking for beginners to reduce pain and stress. Most Tai Chi Walking videos are teaching a regimented stiff approach, and that's counterproductive. I'm going to show you how to do Tai Chi Walking correctly so you can get maximum benefit. I'll even teach you an easy Tai Chi Walking test to see if you're doing it right. Plus, I want to teach you how to integrate it into your day so that you don't have to make this a separate regimented practice, that you can just embed it into your day. And then I hope you'll stick around for the latter part of the video where I explain from a medical standpoint exactly how it relieves pain and stress and how you can apply these in a broader way to change the way you navigate your life. I promise to make this fun and easy, so let's get to Tai Chi Walking. I'm going to cover 4 foundational components very quickly, and then we will put them into practice. The first is skeletal alignment, then soft and bent joints, and using momentum and balance in concert with each other, and then having very soft feet. So let's look at that first one, which is skeletal alignment. We want to build from the feet up and sort of stack your bones. Now, we all have skeletal anomalies, so it's okay if you've not perfectly aligned. But what we want to do is, like stacking blocks, is just stack your bones in a standing posture so that you can release your muscles and sort of let them hang on your bones, like a loose t-shirt hanging on a coat hanger. And see how much you can just release your tension. And then imagine your bones being the internal architecture that's holding your body up. Yes, that's very nice. Now the next foundational is that we want to always keep our joints soft and bent. So commonly what I'm seeing when this Tai Chi Walking is being taught is people are extending their leg all the way out like that. And you can see that now my joints are straight and rigid. So let's try that together. So just kind of stick your foot out and toes up and knees straight, and then assess your body. Now take a breath in, and you can hear that your breath is up in your chest, which is that flight or fight system. We don't want to be there. Plus, this is actually giving my body momentum backwards, and I would be very easy to be pushed backwards. So all of this is disconnecting my body and not correct, straining these joints tremendously. So what we want to do is keep our joints soft and bent, our knees, and we want our ankle neutral. So I'll give you a side view here. So just bring your foot out a comfortable distance and just sort of let it settle on the earth. Allow the earth to your foot just to rest on the earth. Yeah. So now both knees are bent and soft. Your structural alignment is good. And now you're loose, take a breath. And now your breath is down lower, and that's where we want to be. Because that triggers the parasympathetic system, the calming system, and it rids your body of that cortisol, which is the stress hormone. So, skeletal alignment, and then soft bent knees, neutral ankle. The third one is soft feet. So I used to be a mountain biker, and when the wheels were enlarged over the years, I thought I had superhero powers when I mountain biked. When I went from a 26-inch wheel to a 27-inch wheel and wider tires. And that's because I had more surface area to interface with the earth and to just sort of absorb all of those obstacles and contours. So I could roll over things that I could never do before. And that's what we want our feet to be like. We want our feet to be just so soft and receiving the earth and the contours of the earth. And you can imagine your feet being super big. So not just forward and back, but very wide so that you have this soft, large surface area that you're working with. Then the next one is momentum and balance. And what that is being able to move and find that center of balance immediately, finding that sweet spot. So here's a fun way of learning that. I want you to imagine that we're standing in a field and we're standing on top of telephone poles that are stood on end. They're balanced and stood on end. So you are going to have one foot on one telephone pole, and that vertical orientation and line is dropping straight through the center of that telephone pole. And once you sort of feel that balance point, you can lift your foot and just place it and let it settle on the next telephone pole. Then slide your body until you find that perfect vertical balance point. Only then do you lift your other foot. And then you can softly place that foot on the next telephone pole, slide forward, find the center, and lift your foot. Slide forward, find the center, and make sure that this knee is bent, that you're not pushing or straight. You're bent, you slide, you find the center, and then your foot is free. We'll try one more. I'll move over. Right through the center of the telephone pole, and then your foot is free. So now let's try backwards. Right in the middle of that telephone pole, slide your body back, find that perfect vertical plumb line, your foot is free. Step back, find the center, and only then can you lift your foot, or should you, keeping both knees bent. Yeah. Now, it's natural at first that you might have some tension, and then, oops, I'm into my tree here. But eventually, you can reduce that tension, and you learn to find that sweet spot through momentum and balance. You just find it, and there it is. Back. And it's just there. So you don't release that foot, the back foot, until you've got your vertical alignment. And then we can place it. Now, I'm not saying you need to lift your foot every time. So you just start to begin to do this more naturally, and you walk, but you're aware of that telephone pole vertical alignment, weight distribution, and you're able to move freely and loosely, but with balance. So now let's do the test. So the test is, you're walking along, ding, 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 and all of a sudden you can lift your leg and you're in perfect balance. So it doesn't matter if you're on uneven surface, you'll be able to stop, lift your leg, and you're in perfect balance. If you can do that, no matter what the surface type, if it's an incline, decline, rocks, roots, whatever, then you're in Tai Chi Walking, and it becomes more integrated into your daily and patterns and your walking pattern. And that's what you want. We don't want to have to do a separate exercise to gain the benefit. Let's build this into your day so it becomes a natural movement pattern for you. So again, I'm just lifting my foot to test. Have I found the center of that pole? Am I structurally aligned? My feet soft? My joints bent? So what I suggest you do next is think about something in your day that you do on a daily basis. Maybe you go to the mailbox every day and use that time to practice your Tai Chi walking. And it doesn't have to be this real slow, weird walk that your neighbors might look at you and going, what's she doing? Just walk. But walk with that mindfulness and that sensation of where your center is over that vertical telephone pole, and then just real casually lift up your foot as you're walking so that you're practicing this embedded into your day. And eventually, if you just practice a few seconds, 30 seconds, a minute or 2 minutes a day, it'll start to become a new movement pattern for you, a regular movement pattern that you can do without much thought. And then you're really gaining the benefits of this Tai Chi walking. What are those benefits and the medical background to that? So I'm an occupational therapist, so this is always very important to me, that I'm not just teaching something randomly or because it's the next hot topic, but does it really help you? It does help because, one, when we're aligned and our posture is aligned, and when our joints are soft, then we are putting less strain and force on our joints. So I use Tai Chi Tom here to teach. Yeah. So if he's walking and his leg is extended out and he does a heel strike, then the power is not going through the strongest part of the body. the force, I should say. So what we want to do is to dissipate that force through those soft, large feet, and then allow it to come up through the entire skeletal structure because you're properly aligned. And that way then you are doing some weight bearing, which is healthy to the bones, and in that linear alignment, which is what the bones need in order to benefit from that weight bearing load. The other thing that we're doing is, as you experience by keeping our joints soft, is that we're lowering our cortisol. So they've scientifically proven that by adjusting our posture and keeping our joints soft, that we're actually changing our neurological chemistry. We're moving out of that sympathetic system, the fight or flight, into the parasympathetic, which helps us to lower our cortisol, lower our breath, and have reduced anxiety and stress. All that just from this simple, subtle change in how we carry our body and how we do our walking. I always feel that Tai Chi and this release of tension and our posture is a great metaphor and a way for learning how to navigate through life more effectively. So to take this into a more general and broad life application. So what I'd like for you to do is go ahead and stick your foot out there and do that knee extension and toe up thing, and feel how you're kind of stuck. So with rigidness, we become susceptible to injury, and I'm talking metaphorically out in life as well. And we also are sort of inert and we're stuck. So what I'd like for you to do in this position is try to lift that leg. Yeah, it's hard to lift it. And that's a great metaphor. So now just rest your foot down, do everything we talked about, the structural alignment, the softness, and now see if you can lift that foot. Now you can move, you can change directions, and you're balanced. So you can work around the obstacles, you can follow momentum, but don't let the momentum take you over. So all of those things teach us this new way. A way of less tension, more efficiency, more effectiveness, and more of a soft, supple way of managing those life challenges. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, and if you would consider maybe becoming a member of my channel. That helps me to continue creating this content. Also, if you want to go a little deeper with all of this, then I would suggest my book on Amazon, which is called Beyond Form: Learning Tai Chi from the Inside Out. I'm Susan Thompson, and thank you for joining me.